Every day, winners follow simple habits that shape their results. What they do consistently sets them apart from everyone else. In this video, you'll discover 10 practical actions you can start today to build discipline, focus, and lasting success. These are habits that create momentum, boost confidence, and transform ordinary routines into powerful results. You'll learn how to structure your day, make better decisions, manage your energy, and stay consistent even when motivation fades. Each habit is actionable and realistic, designed to fit into your life immediately. By adopting these practices, you'll start seeing measurable progress in your personal growth, productivity, and mindset. Audiobook Shift brings you clear, practical strategies from top books and proven success principles. Stay with us and turn knowledge into action every single day. Number 1. Wake early, plan, execute, review daily. The morning begins before the noise of the world arrives. Waking early is not about showing others how disciplined you are. It is about giving yourself a quiet window where choices are clear. The mind is not pulled in a dozen directions, and the first moves of the day set the whole tone. The body notices the cool air, the small sharpness in the mind, the fact that fewer people are active. Use that edge. A consistent morning gives structure to effort and makes focus repeatable. Start by controlling what is within reach. Decide on a fixed wake time and make it non-negotiable. This does not mean aiming for an extreme hour out of habit or comparison. Choose a time that gives enough space for one meaningful block before obligations begin. Set the same wake time every day, including weekends. The body and mind adapt to routines. Regularity reduces decision fatigue. Bedtime matters. Turn screens off at a consistent hour. Dim the lights, and reduce caffeine 6 hours before sleep. Small, consistent sleep hygiene choices deliver mornings that feel clearer rather than foggier. Begin the morning with 3 short, intentional actions. First, hydrate. A glass of water wakes the body's systems and signals a fresh start. Second, move for 5 to 20 minutes. This might be a brisk walk, a few stretches, or a short body weight circuit. Movement wakes circulation, clears mental cobwebs, and signals readiness. Third, breathe and orient. 2 minutes of calm breathing, eyes open, attention on the moment. These 3 steps anchor the body and ground the mind without prolonged preparation. They are precise, repeatable, and easy to maintain. Plan with purpose. Planning is not filling a schedule with busy work. It is choosing what matters and removing the rest. Open a physical or digital notebook and write 3 priority outcomes for the day. The 3 results that, if achieved, will make the day successful. Keep them specific and small enough to finish in a focused session. For each priority, write the first practical action required to begin. This turns vague intentions into concrete starting points. Break tasks into time blocks. Assign a 60 to 90-minute block to each major priority when energy is highest. Protect those blocks against interruptions. If notifications are an option, switch them off. If people are likely to interrupt, communicate the hours when you will be available. Execution starts with the first block. The most effective work sessions are single-minded. Work with a timer if that helps. Use the technique of focused intervals, 50 or 90 minutes of uninterrupted work, followed by a deliberate 10 to 20-minute break. During the work interval, remove tabs, apps, and other visual distractions. Close the door, put the phone out of reach, or use an app that blocks social distractions. The brain performs at its best when allowed to build momentum without repeated restart. One sustained effort will produce more than several scattered attempts. Make decisions in advance to conserve willpower. For common daily choices, food, clothes, workout, create simple rules. Example, coffee after the first work block, fruit and protein for breakfast, walking after lunch. Simple rules reduce friction and keep attention focused on high-leverage decisions. The fewer small choices draining energy, the more capacity remains for important action. When a complex decision is required, allocate a specific short time to it and set a deadline. Decide with the information available, then move. Perfection in decision-making is a myth. Speed in deciding and pivoting when new facts arrive is a practical advantage. Use immediate feedback to correct course. After each major block, Spend 5 minutes doing a quick check. Did the plan produce progress? If the answer is yes, take a note on what amplified that progress. If the answer is no, write one micro adjustment and try again. This habit of frequent course correction prevents hours of wasted effort on flawed approaches. Keep a written list of experiments, small changes to test next time. Over weeks, these experiments compound into reliable methods that match personal rhythms. Energy management is as important as time management. The body cannot be ignored. Stand when possible, move regularly, and eat to sustain focus. Avoid heavy carbohydrate meals before deep work blocks. Hydration and short walks restore attention faster than long caffeine chases. When fatigue appears, pause and address it. Rest, a walk or a brief nap if the schedule allows. Ignoring physical signals is not toughness. It is a strategy that breaks long-term effectiveness. Reviewing the day is what turns repeated actions into durable improvement. At the end of each day, spend 10 minutes in a calm place with a notebook or app. Follow 4 brief prompts. What went well and why? What did not go well and why? What is one clear lesson to carry forward? What are the first actions for tomorrow? Be specific. Avoid vague generalities like do better. Instead, note tangible changes. Finished first priority in one block by blocking notifications, or lost focus after checking email. Next time, open email only after the second block. Write one sentence of gratitude, something exact that happened to. This practice stabilizes perspective and quietly builds resilience. Weekly reviews amplify the daily practice. Once a week, set aside 30 minutes to examine patterns. Look for recurring obstacles and recurring wins. Did mornings produce consistent progress? Which time blocks were most productive? Which types of tasks need different energy windows? This weekly review is not an indulgence. It is a practical system for aligning intentions with real life. Adjustments made weekly prevent small problems from becoming entrenched. Discipline is not a punitive state. It is a method of alignment between values and actions. The goal of waking early, planning, executing, and reviewing is to build a life that reflects chosen priorities instead of default reactions. Embrace failure as feedback. If a morning goes wrong, note the cause without judgment and design a fix. A missed alarm is an opportunity to check why the evening routine failed. A distracted work block is an opportunity to refine the environment. This attitude, study without self-punishment, fosters steady improvement. Stoic practice fits naturally into this daily loop. Each morning, use 2 minutes to mentally rehearse possible obstacles. A difficult email, a delayed meeting, a sudden request. This practice of premeditation reduces the shock of setbacks and prepares calm responses. During planning, ask which parts are within control and which are not. Focus energy strictly on what can be influenced. In the evening review, practice a short inventory of impulses and reactions. Which responses honored values, which did not. This quiet accountability builds inner authority. Over time, the habit of reviewing personal action cultivates a character that is steady under pressure. Concrete daily rules that work for many people. Wake at the same time, drink water, move for a short period, write 3 priorities, complete the highest priority in a single focused block, review progress after each block, and spend 10 minutes on an evening review. These rules are starting points. Personalize them. If afternoon energy is higher, shift the major block then. If a child's schedule demands flexibility, protect 2 clear focus windows before and after care. The aim is not rigid mimicry, but repeatable systems that respect real life. Small wins compound. Each morning that begins with intention is a deposit into a larger account of capability. The first completed block yields confidence. A week of focused sessions yields skill. Months of consistent review yield habits that no longer feel like effort. Identity shifts quietly. The person who plans and finishes becomes the person who plans and finishes more often. That identity supports bolder choices, clearer goals, and steadier performance. Begin today by choosing one element to add or strengthen. If waking early is inconsistent, set the wake time 10 minutes earlier than now and keep it for a week. If planning is superficial, commit to writing 3 priorities each morning. If reviews are missing, schedule 10 minutes tonight. These small visible changes are not dramatic on day one, but on day one they are necessary. Repeat them tomorrow. Repeat them again. The power of waking early, planning, executing, and reviewing daily does not come from a single heroic push. It comes from steady alignment, clear starts, focused effort, honest feedback, and incremental improvement. The quiet morning, the disciplined block, the short evening inventory, each is a tool. Use them deliberately. Over time, they shape not just days, but the person who lives them. Number 2, read, learn, apply, track, improve consistently. Knowledge without action is noise. To become someone who consistently achieves, the act of learning cannot be passive. Reading is not a hobby. It is a deliberate strategy to expand perspective, sharpen judgment, and prepare the mind for practical action. Each page of a book, every article, and each credible source consulted becomes raw material for transformation. But reading alone is not enough. Learning requires reflection, application, and consistent measurement. Every lesson absorbed must be tested in the real world, adjusted and refined. Success emerges not from what you know, but from what you consistently do with what you know. Start with reading intentionally. Choose materials that align with your goals, challenge your current understanding, and inspire action. Random consumption of content leads to scattered insights. Instead, curate a small, high-quality list of books, articles, podcasts, or research relevant to your personal and professional growth. Allocate a dedicated time every day to read without distraction, even if it's only 30 minutes. This focused habit ensures that knowledge enters the mind in a structured and digestible way. When reading, approach each passage with questions in mind. How can I use this? What principle can be applied immediately? This mental filter converts passive reading into active learning. Learning deepens when notes are taken. Don't rely on memory. Writing down key points, ideas, and actionable takeaways transforms abstract concepts into concrete material. Keep a notebook or digital journal specifically for insights that can be applied in real life. Summarize lessons in your own words. Rewriting material engages the brain differently, strengthening comprehension and retention. Include a reflection section for each entry. What surprised you? What conflicts with your current practice? What small experiments could test this idea? Over time, these notes become a personalized manual of knowledge, a reference for decision-making and improvement. Application is the bridge between knowledge and achievement. Knowledge without action is wasted energy. After learning a concept, identify one way to implement it today. It might be a technique to improve communication, a method for organizing tasks, or a mindset shift for resilience. Start small. The first step does not need to be perfect. It needs to be deliberate. If a strategy seems too large, break it into micro steps that can be executed within a day or a week. Execution is a habit, not an event. The discipline to act on every insight, no matter how minor, compounds over weeks and months into skill, capability, and confidence. Tracking progress is the essential next step. Without measurement, improvement is guesswork. Maintain a system to record actions, experiments, and results. Use a journal, a spreadsheet, or an app to note each application of new knowledge. Include details such as the approach taken, the outcome, challenges faced, and lessons learned. Over time, patterns emerge. You discover which methods resonate with your style, which produce tangible results, and which require adjustment. Tracking transforms learning into a feedback loop that powers continual refinement. Consistency is non-negotiable. Sporadic bursts of reading, learning, and action yield temporary results. Establish a daily rhythm where reading, reflection, and application are woven seamlessly into the schedule. Treat this as an unbreakable commitment, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. When life becomes unpredictable, adjust timing but not the habit itself. Even on difficult days, engage with the process in some form. Consistency ensures momentum. The mind and body adapt to regular practice, making learning automatic and application instinctive over time. Improvement is an iterative process. Each cycle of reading, learning, application, and tracking should conclude with a reflection: what worked, what failed, and what can be adjusted. Avoid the trap of repeating the same actions without evaluation. Improvement is intentional. When reviewing progress, ask critical questions. Which insights produced the greatest value? Which attempts were wasted effort? How can methods be refined for better outcomes? Treat each day as an experiment, each failure as data, and each success as confirmation of effective methods. A key principle in this cycle is selective attention. Not all knowledge is useful. Discernment in learning is as important as discipline in application. Avoid the temptation to consume everything. Focus on content that aligns with clear objectives and values. When evaluating materials, consider credibility, relevance, and applicability. Prioritize sources that combine actionable strategies with tested wisdom. Over time, this selective approach ensures that mental energy is spent on high-leverage learning instead of passive consumption. The act of application develops intuition. Consistent practice builds a mental library of experiences. When challenges arise, the mind can draw parallels from previous lessons and generate solutions more quickly. Knowledge becomes instinctive, not theoretical. This intuitive advantage is cultivated only through repeated testing and adjustment. Each application strengthens problem-solving skills and decision-making under uncertainty. Eventually, the brain begins to recognize patterns and opportunities that would be invisible without sustained practice. Accountability enhances learning and improvement. Share goals, experiments, and insights with a mentor, peer, or community. Verbalizing understanding forces clarity and precision. Feedback from others provides new perspectives and prevents blind spots. Even private tracking can be paired with weekly self-audits to evaluate adherence and results. Accountability, whether internal or external, ensures that actions remain deliberate rather than passive or superficial. Embrace failure as an integral part of learning. Every unsuccessful attempt provides data for refinement. Avoid the habit of self-criticism or discouragement. Instead, record failures, analyze contributing factors, and extract specific adjustments for the next attempt. This mindset transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Improvement accelerates when failures are systematically reviewed, and the fear of error diminishes, replaced by curiosity and resolve. Reflection ties the process together. Take time each week to synthesize knowledge gained, applications attempted, and patterns observed. Ask, what principles have emerged? Which habits are delivering the most consistent results? How can effort be optimized for the following week? Reflection turns scattered experiences into coherent strategies. It converts activity into mastery and ensures that learning is cumulative, not fragmented. Reading, learning, application, tracking, and improvement also impact character. Patience, discipline, and perseverance are strengthened by daily engagement with this cycle. The mind becomes sharper, more resilient, and increasingly aligned with long-term goals. Habits of reflection and adjustment cultivate humility and adaptability. Knowledge ceases to be abstract. It becomes a tool to navigate reality effectively. To start, choose a single area of growth. Dedicate 15 to 30 minutes daily to reading material focused on this area. Summarize 3 actionable insights from each session. Identify one experiment to apply immediately. Track outcomes in a simple format. At the end of the week, review results and plan adjustments. Even these small steps, repeated consistently, produce noticeable improvements in skill, perspective, and confidence. Gradually expand the scope. Add new areas of learning and new applications as foundational habits. Solidify. The key is deliberate pacing. Avoid overwhelming the mind with too many experiments simultaneously. Mastery comes from focus, persistence, and systematic growth, not frantic accumulation. Each cycle reinforces the next, producing steady and measurable transformation. The long-term benefit of this approach is profound. Knowledge becomes practical wisdom, actions yield measurable results, and personal growth becomes self-reinforcing. The individual who reads, learns, applies, tracks, and improves consistently develops clarity in decision-making, adaptability under pressure, and resilience in the face of obstacles. Life becomes a laboratory where every day provides evidence, feedback, and an opportunity for refinement. Start with intention, act with discipline, and review with honesty. Over weeks, months, and years, the compounded effect of this habit creates a person capable of navigating complexity, seizing opportunities, and achieving meaningful goals. Learning is no longer passive. It is a force that, when coupled with action and consistent improvement, shapes reality itself. Reading, learning, applying, tracking, and improving consistently is not a task. It is a lifestyle, a rhythm of growth. Each element feeds the next. Reading sparks ideas. Learning transforms ideas into comprehension. Application tests, understanding, tracking reveals progress, and improvement refines performance. Follow this cycle with persistence, and life begins to change. Knowledge transforms into capability. Effort transforms into skill. Habit transforms into identity. This is how consistent action turns ordinary days into a trajectory of excellence, creating not only competence, but the confidence to achieve what was once considered impossible. Number 3, prioritize goals, eliminate distractions, stay focused. The ability to focus is the currency of achievement. Without it, effort disperses, time is wasted, and results become inconsistent. True productivity begins not with activity but with clarity, knowing what matters most and committing to it fully. Prioritization is a deliberate choice to invest energy in high-impact actions, not merely to be busy. Every day presents countless demands, but only a few contribute meaningfully to long-term success. Recognizing these critical tasks and directing attention toward them separates those who achieve from those who merely react to life. Start with clarity of purpose. Define goals with precision. Avoid vague intentions such as improve my career or get healthier. Specify what success looks like in concrete terms. Increase sales by 20% in 6 months. Complete a half marathon. Finish writing a book. When goals are clear, decisions become simpler. Each choice can be evaluated against the standard. Does this action move me toward the objective, or does it consume time without impact? Specificity reduces mental friction and allows energy to be concentrated where it matters most. Break large goals into actionable steps. Even the loftiest ambitions become achievable when decomposed into manageable tasks. Identify milestones along the path and assign realistic timelines. Each small victory reinforces momentum and strengthens discipline. Visualizing the sequence of steps transforms overwhelming projects into a series of attainable challenges. Success is rarely a sudden leap. It is a consistent progression of focused action. Each deliberate step taken daily compounds into substantial achievement. Distractions are the primary barrier to sustained focus. Modern life is filled with constant interruptions, emails, notifications, social media, and endless noise. To eliminate distractions, create a controlled environment that protects attention. Identify sources of interruption and address them systematically. Silence notifications, close irrelevant tabs, and structure workspaces to minimize visual clutter. External adjustments are reinforced by internal discipline. Practice noticing when attention drifts and deliberately returning it to the task at hand. The mind, like a muscle, strengthens with repeated training and sustained focus. Time blocking is a powerful tool to protect attention. Assign specific periods to high-priority tasks and guard them rigorously. Treat these blocks as appointments with yourself. During these windows, eliminate all competing stimuli. Work in bursts of concentrated effort, then take brief breaks to recharge. These structured intervals maximize cognitive energy and reduce decision fatigue. Over time, time blocking transforms scattered effort into consistent progress, ensuring that critical goals receive the attention they deserve. Learn to say no decisively. Every commitment consumes energy that could be directed toward priorities. Evaluate opportunities through the lens of your objectives. If a task does not align with the top priorities, decline it or defer it. Protecting your focus requires courage and discipline. Saying no is not selfish. It is a practical choice to preserve the capacity for meaningful work. Boundaries are essential for achieving ambitious outcomes. Batch routine or low-value tasks together. Repetitive administrative work, answering non-essential emails, or responding to general inquiries can fragment attention if handled sporadically. Group these tasks into a single period and complete them efficiently. This strategy reduces context switching and preserves high-energy segments for tasks that drive significant results. Efficiency in low-priority areas frees cognitive resources for what truly matters. Mindfulness enhances concentration. Awareness of thought patterns, emotional reactions, and environmental triggers strengthens the ability to return to focus when distraction occurs. Practicing short mindfulness exercises, 5 minutes of attention on breathing or a brief reflection on the day's priorities, reinforces mental control. Over time, these moments of deliberate awareness build resilience against the constant pull of irrelevant stimuli, ensuring that attention remains a deliberate choice rather than a reflexive reaction. Regular evaluation of progress reinforces prioritization. At the end of each day or week, review completed tasks and examine alignment with goals. Identify actions that produced meaningful outcomes and those that were consumed by low-value activities. Adjust plans based on what is working and what is not. This practice of reflection ensures that focus remains adaptive and that energy continues to be directed toward high-leverage actions. Continuous recalibration strengthens efficiency and prevents effort from becoming misaligned with objectives. Discipline complements prioritization. Even with clear goals and minimized distractions, sustained focus requires consistent self-control. Establish rituals and routines that cue attention toward essential tasks. For example, a morning planning session followed by a focused work block signals the mind that priority work is expected. The combination of structured action, minimized distractions, and deliberate habits cultivates a mindset where focus becomes natural rather than forced. Energy management is inseparable from focus. Cognitive performance fluctuates throughout the day. Identify periods of peak alertness and schedule priority tasks accordingly. Use breaks strategically. Step away from the workspace, stretch, or engage in short physical activity to recharge. Avoid over-reliance on stimulants or prolonged multitasking. Protecting energy ensures that attention can be applied fully to high-priority work, reducing wasted effort and increasing the likelihood of achieving meaningful outcomes. Clarity of motivation fuels sustained attention. Connect daily actions to larger purpose. Understand why each task matters and how it contributes to broader life goals. When the mind comprehends the significance of focused effort, perseverance becomes easier, and minor distractions lose their appeal. Motivation anchors focus and strengthens resolve, making the deliberate pursuit of objectives less vulnerable to external interruption. Break projects into 3 levels of priority: immediate, midterm, and long-term. Immediate priorities are critical today. Midterm priorities support weekly or monthly progress, and long-term priorities shape strategic outcomes. Layering focus in this way ensures that the most urgent and important tasks receive attention first, while still maintaining steady advancement toward overarching ambitions. This hierarchical approach prevents the mind from being consumed by trivial matters. Accountability reinforces focus. Communicate key objectives to a trusted mentor, peer, or team member. Share progress reports or summaries of completed tasks. External accountability creates an added layer of responsibility and encourages consistent adherence to priorities. Even private accountability systems, such as daily journaling of completed actions and lessons learned, can maintain clarity and momentum. When attention is tracked and reported, focus strengthens naturally. Environmental consistency supports concentration. Arrange a workspace that signals purpose, reduce noise, keep tools and resources organized, and maintain physical order. A predictable and clean environment reduces cognitive friction and allows the mind to devote resources to important tasks. Small physical adjustments, like having only the materials needed for the task at hand, enhance mental clarity and reinforce the habit of concentrated effort. Adaptability is key when unforeseen events arise. Priorities may shift due to changing circumstances, but the principle remains: direct energy toward high-impact tasks. Reassess goals promptly, adjust plans logically, and avoid emotional distraction. The ability to pivot while maintaining focus ensures that effort is always productive, even in uncertain conditions. Strategic flexibility protects momentum without sacrificing attention to what matters most. Celebrate progress strategically. Recognize milestones achieved, not as indulgence, but as reinforcement. Reflection on accomplishments highlights what works and motivates continued commitment to focused action. Celebrating specific wins strengthens habit formation and reminds the mind that deliberate attention produces tangible results. Rewarding progress wisely maintains enthusiasm while preserving discipline. Integrating these principles consistently transforms productivity into mastery. Prioritizing goals, eliminating distractions, and maintaining focus creates a self-reinforcing cycle. Clarity guides attention. Attention produces results. Results validate methods, and validated methods strengthen focus further. Over time, distractions have less power, decision-making accelerates, and the ability to concentrate becomes second nature. The foundation is intentional action. Start each day by listing the 3 most important outcomes. Structure time to protect those outcomes. Remove anything that does not contribute meaningfully. Maintain awareness of attention and energy. Review results at the end of the day and refine tomorrow's plan. Repetition builds skill. Deliberate practice embeds habits. Focus becomes effortless, and priorities are consistently achieved. The individual who masters prioritization and focus gains control over life instead of reacting to circumstances. Small, disciplined choices compound into meaningful progress. Days spent reacting to minor urgencies yield little growth, whereas days guided by careful prioritization and concentrated effort accumulate into a trajectory of excellence. Focus, once cultivated, becomes a tool to navigate complexity, make impactful decisions, and produce results that endure. Prioritizing goals, eliminating distractions, and staying focused is a continuous practice, not a one-time effort. Every day offers a choice: to be swept along by trivial matters or to direct energy toward meaningful outcomes. The disciplined person seizes the day intentionally, allocates attention to what truly matters, and creates a life that reflects deliberate purpose. This relentless focus becomes a defining characteristic of success, shaping both achievement and character. Number 4. Exercise. Meditate, reflect, maintain energy levels. Physical vitality and mental clarity are inseparable foundations of effective living. The body is the instrument through which ideas are executed, decisions are made, and ambitions are realized. Without consistent care, energy dwindles, focus blurs, and resilience weakens. Exercise is not simply a tool for aesthetics. It is a daily investment in capacity, alertness, and endurance. A brief session of movement in the morning or midday invigorates circulation, awakens the nervous system, and primes the brain for sustained concentration. Muscles, joints, and core strength are the scaffolding for all actions, giving both stability and stamina for demanding tasks. Movement improves mental agility as much as physical strength. Cardiovascular activity, resistance training, or even brisk walking stimulates neurotransmitters responsible for alertness, mood, and cognitive function. Endorphins elevate energy, while oxygenation of the brain improves clarity. The simplest routines, performed consistently, yield cumulative benefits. The goal is not intensity at first, but regularity. Even 15 minutes of intentional movement daily establishes a foundation that grows stronger over weeks and months. The mind notices the difference, becoming sharper and more resilient to distractions. Meditation enhances control over the mind and body. In a world flooded with information and demands, mental stillness is rare, yet indispensable. Spending time in quiet observation of thoughts, sensations, and emotions strengthens awareness and reduces impulsive reactions. A 10 to 20-minute daily meditation practice increases the ability to sustain focus, manage stress, and approach challenges deliberately. Awareness of breathing, posture, and bodily sensations anchors attention to the present moment, quieting mental chatter. Over time, meditation cultivates a mental environment conducive to calm, strategic thinking rather than reactive behavior. Reflection is the lens through which learning and experience are clarified. Daily reflection encourages recognition of achievements, acknowledgement of failures, and extraction of lessons from both. It need not be complex. Simple journaling or silent contemplation allows the mind to process experiences. This practice enhances decision-making, improves emotional regulation, and aligns actions with long-term objectives. Reflective routines bridge action with insight, converting experience into wisdom that informs future choices. Even a few minutes of focused reflection each day reinforces clarity, perspective, and deliberate behavior. Energy management is central to sustained productivity. Physical movement, mental stillness, and reflective practice alone are insufficient if basic energy levels are neglected. Nutrition plays a significant role. Meals that balance protein, complex carbohydrates, and healthy fats provide slow-release energy without spikes and crashes. Hydration is equally important. The brain is highly sensitive to fluid balance, and subtle dehydration reduces cognitive performance. Sleep is the foundation of energy. Adequate rest consolidates memory, restores hormonal balance, and replenishes focus. Ignoring these elements undermines all other habits. Exercise, meditation, reflection, and energy management interact synergistically. Physical activity fuels alertness, while meditation enhances focus and emotional regulation. Reflection converts experiences into actionable lessons, and energy management ensures that both mind and body operate at peak levels. The daily cycle of caring for these areas produces a compound effect, where mental sharpness, physical readiness, and emotional resilience reinforce one another. This integrated approach allows consistent performance, even under demanding circumstances. Develop practical routines that can be maintained reliably. For exercise, choose activities suited to your body and schedule. Short, high-intensity sessions, moderate cardio, yoga, or strength training. Consistency matters more than complexity or duration. For meditation, establish a quiet space and a predictable time, whether morning, midday, or evening. Use simple breathing techniques or guided recordings to anchor attention. Reflection can be performed as part of meditation or in a separate journal session, focusing on outcomes, lessons, and adjustments. Energy maintenance requires monitoring diet, sleep, and hydration, as well as recognizing early signs of fatigue to adjust activity or rest accordingly. Small incremental improvements yield large outcomes over time. Adding 5 more minutes to a workout, extending meditation by 2 minutes, or journaling 1 additional insights strengthens habit formation without overwhelming willpower. Over weeks, these small increments translate into heightened physical endurance, greater emotional stability, and improved mental clarity. The compound effect of repeated, deliberate action produces transformations that are profound and lasting. Environmental factors influence energy and effectiveness. Ensure spaces for exercise and reflection are uncluttered, safe, and comfortable. Lighting, temperature, and sound affect both physical performance and mental calmness. Establish rituals to cue each practice: a mat for meditation, specific shoes or clothing for exercise, and a dedicated notebook for reflection. External cues reinforce internal discipline, making it easier to transition into focused routines consistently. Avoid extremes that compromise sustainability. Overexertion in exercise, prolonged meditation beyond tolerance, or excessive restriction of diet can lead to burnout or counterproductive outcomes. Moderate, steady engagement is superior to sporadic bursts of intensity. Sustainable habits ensure energy is maintained consistently, enabling long-term adherence rather than temporary peaks followed by collapse. Discipline is strengthened when routines are realistic and repeatable, not forced and exhausting. Physical movement can also be integrated into daily activities. Walking meetings, stretching breaks, and brief activity interludes during work periods maintain circulation and alertness. Small doses of exercise between tasks prevent stagnation, reduce stress, and improve mood. The mind benefits from movement not only as preparation for work, but as continuous reinforcement of vitality and attention. The body and mind are interconnected. Every small adjustment in one affects the other positively. Mindfulness enhances both exercise and reflection. Paying attention to bodily sensations during movement, posture, breathing, and mental state during meditation improves efficiency and reduces risk of injury. In reflection, mindfulness sharpens insight, allowing clear identification of cause and effect, emotional triggers, and cognitive patterns. This attentiveness fosters precision in action and depth in learning, elevating both performance and understanding. Prioritize restorative practices to maintain energy long-term. Sleep schedules should be consistent, ideally aligned with natural circadian rhythms. Short naps, stretching, or light breathing exercises can supplement energy during the day. Avoid habits that drain energy unnecessarily. Excessive caffeine, overstimulation from screens, or prolonged inactivity. By consciously regulating energy inputs and outputs, resilience is strengthened, ensuring that exercise, meditation, and reflection are not compromised by preventable fatigue. Accountability reinforces commitment. Tracking exercise duration, meditation sessions, reflections written, and daily energy levels provides tangible evidence of consistency. Small measurable indicators create motivation, identify patterns, and highlight areas for adjustment. Over time, these records form a personal guide to understanding how physical, mental, and emotional routines influence overall performance. Patterns emerge, allowing refinement and optimization of strategies. The interplay of body, mind, and energy produces noticeable benefits. Concentration improves, stress diminishes, endurance increases, and decision-making sharpens. Challenges become manageable, and the ability to sustain effort over long periods grows. By integrating physical activity, mental stillness, reflective practice, and energy awareness, performance becomes deliberate rather than reactive. Life is approached with steadiness and resilience, rather than fatigue and scattered effort. Commitment to these practices requires intentionality. Begin by selecting manageable starting points: 15 minutes of exercise, 10 minutes of meditation, a short reflection period, and conscious attention to hydration and nutrition. Gradually extend duration, intensity, and frequency, observing how each increment affects performance and well-being. The combination of awareness, discipline, and incremental progression produces compounding results over time, far exceeding sporadic effort. Exercise, meditation, reflection, and energy maintenance cultivate both capacity and character. Physical strength supports endurance, mental clarity guides action, reflection shapes understanding, and energy management ensures sustainability. Together, they form a foundation from which every other habit, goal, and achievement becomes possible. The individual who integrates these practices daily develops resilience, adaptability, and a consistent ability to operate at high levels regardless of circumstance. The rhythm of daily care for body, mind, and energy transforms potential into capability. Each session of movement, meditation, and reflection compounds with conscious energy management to produce heightened alertness, emotional regulation, and strategic insight. This holistic approach ensures that performance is not sporadic, but reliable, steady, and evolving. Habits formed in this manner are enduring, producing long-term vitality and mental strength that cannot be gained through short-term effort alone. These practices are not optional luxuries, but essential tools for anyone seeking consistent performance and personal growth. Exercise sharpens, meditation centers, reflection enlightens, and energy maintenance sustains. When practiced daily, these elements create a self-reinforcing cycle. Energy supports focus, focus amplifies learning, learning informs action, and action cultivates results. Mastery of this cycle is foundational for achieving meaningful and sustained success. Number 5, network intentionally, give value, build trust. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. The people around you shape opportunities, influence perceptions, and amplify potential. Networking is not simply collecting contacts or exchanging pleasantries. It is a deliberate practice of connecting with individuals whose skills, experiences, and ambitions complement your own. Intentional networking begins with clarity about the type of relationships that matter, the mutual goals that can be pursued, and the value you can provide in each interaction. Connections are strongest when grounded in purpose rather than convenience, and meaningful relationships grow from consistent effort, generosity, and reliability. Begin by identifying the circles that align with your objectives. Professional communities, interest groups, or educational environments often contain individuals who share your drive or possess complementary expertise. Choose spaces where your skills are relevant and where learning from others can accelerate growth. Attend gatherings, forums, or virtual events not for the sake of presence, but with the goal of contributing meaningfully. Preparation is key. Understand the people you may encounter, anticipate discussion topics, and consider how your unique strengths can enhance the interaction. Networking is effective when deliberate thought precedes engagement. Giving value is the cornerstone of lasting connections. People remember those who offer support, insight, or assistance without immediate expectation of return. Practical ways to provide value include sharing knowledge, offering guidance, introducing contacts to mutually beneficial opportunities, or providing honest feedback when appropriate. Generosity signals competence and reliability simultaneously. A network thrives on reciprocity that is authentic rather than transactional. Even small gestures, consistently applied, accumulate into a reputation of trustworthiness and influence. The focus is on the contribution you bring, not the reward you seek. Active listening strengthens relationships. The tendency to dominate conversations or prioritize personal agendas diminishes trust. Listening attentively demonstrates respect and awareness, allowing you to understand others' priorities, motivations, and challenges. In-depth listening uncovers areas where your skills or insights can create tangible benefits. By responding thoughtfully, relationships are transformed from superficial exchanges into collaborative connections. Understanding the needs and perspectives of others is as valuable as any resource you may offer. Follow-through distinguishes casual acquaintances from trusted allies. Promises, commitments, or even casual offers to assist must be executed reliably. Delivering on commitments builds credibility, demonstrates integrity, and fosters a sense of mutual reliance. Conversely, failing to act undermines reputation and reduces the likelihood of future collaboration. Trust is cumulative, shaped by countless small acts of consistency and reliability. The individual who can be counted on for both small and significant tasks naturally becomes central to networks of influence. Strategic networking involves prioritizing quality over quantity. A handful of deeply cultivated relationships often produce greater benefits than a broad array of superficial contacts. Focus on individuals whose experiences, insight, or reach can mutually enhance both parties. Dedicate time to understanding their goals, challenges, and values. When networks are nurtured with intentionality, each interaction strengthens the foundation of collaboration, mentorship, and opportunity. Depth produces durability, while breadth without substance often yields fleeting interactions. Regular engagement is essential for relationship maintenance. Connections require attention, even when immediate benefit is not evident. A short message to check in, sharing a relevant article, or acknowledging an achievement signals awareness and respect. These small, consistent acts reinforce bonds and keep relationships active. In professional and personal networks alike, relationships weaken when ignored. Sustained engagement ensures that networks remain vibrant and responsive over time. Trust is cultivated through authenticity. People respond to sincerity more strongly than to appearances of expertise or status. Express opinions transparently, admit limitations when appropriate, and communicate intentions clearly. Authenticity eliminates ambiguity and builds confidence in interactions. When individuals sense honesty and consistency, they are more likely to share insights, invite collaboration, and offer support. Trust emerges not from pretense, but from consistent alignment between words, actions, and values. Mentorship amplifies networking impact. Seek mentors whose experiences provide insight into areas you wish to grow, and offer mentorship where your skills can benefit others. Mentorship fosters exchange of knowledge, perspective, and guidance, creating strong relational bonds. Both roles demand preparation, attention, and follow-through, but the cumulative effect on personal growth and network strength is substantial. Mentorship reinforces credibility, demonstrates willingness to contribute, and fosters trust that extends beyond individual interactions. Introduce others strategically. Connecting two individuals who may benefit mutually reflects foresight and generosity. Facilitate introductions that are meaningful rather than superficial by understanding the needs and capabilities of each party. These acts of service position you as a connector, someone who elevates others while enhancing the cohesion of your network. Being recognized as a reliable bridge between people of complementary skills strengthens reputation and opens further opportunities for collaboration. Be intentional about communication style. Written and verbal communication reflects thoughtfulness and respect. Messages should be clear, concise, and considerate of the recipient's time and priorities. Avoid overloading individuals with irrelevant information. Instead, provide insight, guidance, or actionable suggestions when engaging. Intentional communication signals competence, fosters understanding, and reinforces the value you bring to relationships. Clarity reduces friction, accelerates collaboration, and strengthens credibility. Observe patterns of reciprocity. Trust and mutual benefit thrive when exchanges are balanced. Notice when individuals engage consistently and when they do not contribute to shared goals. Align energy with relationships that are reciprocal and constructive. While generosity remains a principle, discernment ensures that effort is not wasted on connections that drain resources without meaningful return. Strategic allocation of time and attention enhances overall effectiveness within networks. Networking is strengthened by a long-term perspective. Avoid short-term thinking focused solely on immediate gain. Relationships are cumulative investments. Every interaction, insight shared, or assistance offered compounds over time. Patience and consistency yield enduring trust and influence. By prioritizing sustained engagement, even small contributions can evolve into substantial opportunities, collaborations, or mentorships that emerge gradually but powerfully. Self-awareness enhances networking impact. Understanding personal strengths, weaknesses, and unique perspectives allows you to position yourself strategically within relationships. Recognize areas where expertise is strong, as well as situations where guidance or learning from others is required. Clear self-awareness fosters humility, confidence, and authenticity, which in turn builds credibility and strengthens trust. The individual who understands themselves can navigate relationships deliberately, contributing where most effective and receptive to input where most needed. Celebrate others' successes genuinely. Acknowledgement and recognition reinforce trust and rapport. Congratulating colleagues, peers, or partners on achievements communicates attention, respect, and shared values. Celebrating others does not diminish personal accomplishments. It signals maturity, emotional intelligence, and alignment with collaborative principles. Over time, these small acts create goodwill and strengthen bonds that support both personal and collective growth. Consistency solidifies reputation. Repeated actions, demonstrated reliability, and continual value provision transform first impressions into lasting trust. People remember patterns of behavior more than singular acts. By consistently offering support, insight, and engagement, relationships deepen, opportunities multiply, and influence grows naturally. Reputation, built steadily through consistent conduct, becomes a powerful lever for access, collaboration, and achievement. Networking intentionally, giving value, and building trust form a cycle of exponential growth. Connections deepen, opportunities emerge, and credibility expands with every deliberate interaction. Intentional engagement ensures that relationships are meaningful. Generosity fosters loyalty, and trust sustains influence. Individuals who master these practices navigate both professional and personal environments with clarity, resilience, and strategic advantage. To start, identify 3 individuals who align with your goals or whose expertise can provide insight. Engage meaningfully with each through advice, support, or collaborative discussion. Track interactions and follow up consistently. Introduce relevant connections where appropriate. Observe patterns of trust and reciprocity. Expand the network gradually, ensuring that every relationship is cultivated intentionally, contributions are made authentically, and reliability is maintained. Over time, this practice produces a network that is not only extensive, but deeply supportive. Opportunities, mentorship, and collaborations arise organically. Trust and influence, multiply as relationships reinforce one another. The person who networks intentionally, gives value consistently, and cultivates trust becomes central in communities of growth, knowledge, and achievement. This is not luck. It is the outcome of deliberate, persistent effort and disciplined relational strategy. Number 6. Track progress. Adjust strategies. Celebrate milestones. Progress is invisible without measurement. Effort alone does not guarantee results, and actions without evaluation often drift aimlessly. Tracking progress transforms vague intentions into concrete indicators of growth. Every goal, whether large or small, requires clarity on what success looks like, and consistent observation of how actions align with those targets. Without a system to record achievements, setbacks, and patterns, it is impossible to understand what works and what requires change. Measurement is not bureaucratic. It is a practical tool for efficiency, insight, and long-term improvement. Begin by defining clear metrics for every objective. Ambiguity sabotages evaluation. If the goal is professional, metrics could include sales generated, projects completed, or client satisfaction ratings. If personal, they could involve fitness milestones, learning achievements, or creative output. Choose indicators that are observable, specific, and meaningful. Avoid broad, abstract ideas that are difficult to quantify. Precision in measurement ensures that feedback is actionable, accurate, and capable of guiding decisions effectively. Record every significant action. Document not only outcomes, but also approaches and conditions. Note timing, methods, obstacles, and adjustments attempted. This level of detail transforms each attempt into data for learning. Observing trends over days, weeks, and months reveals patterns that are invisible in the moment. Tracking provides accountability, strengthens focus, and prevents repetition of ineffective practices. It is a disciplined exercise in self-awareness and intentionality. Adjusting strategies is essential for continuous progress. Raw effort without evaluation is like moving in the dark. After each measurement, analyze results critically. What produced the desired effect? What hindered performance? And which variables can be optimized? Avoid assigning blame or judging failure emotionally. Instead, treat each deviation as an opportunity to refine methods. Strategic adjustments do not signify weakness. They reflect intelligence and adaptability. The ability to pivot based on evidence separates consistent achievers from those who stagnate despite hard work. Refinement often requires experimenting with alternative approaches. If a tactic fails to yield results, test variations systematically. Change one variable at a time: timing, method, intensity, or sequence. Document the effects of each modification. This methodical approach transforms trial and error into structured learning. Over time, small, incremental adjustments accumulate, producing exponential improvement. Strategic experimentation ensures that decisions are informed, deliberate, and effective. Feedback from external sources enhances insight. Seek constructive input from mentors, peers, or subject matter experts. Outside perspectives often reveal blind spots that self-assessment alone cannot detect. Accept feedback objectively, focusing on actionable recommendations rather than emotional reactions. Integrating external observations into tracking systems amplifies learning, sharpens strategies, and accelerates progress. Collaboration and evaluation increases both accuracy and effectiveness of adjustments. Celebrate milestones deliberately. Recognition of progress is not indulgence, it is reinforcement. Acknowledging achievements, whether small or large, strengthens motivation, boosts confidence, and sustains momentum. Structured celebration serves as a tangible reminder that effort produces results. Even brief pauses to acknowledge accomplishment help reset energy, maintain perspective, and cultivate resilience for continued pursuit of goals. Without celebration, effort risks fatigue and diminishes the perceived value of progress. Develop a cadence for review. Daily tracking captures immediate outcomes, while weekly or monthly reviews reveal broader patterns. Consistency ensures that actions are aligned with objectives, and that small deviations are corrected before they compound. During review, focus on trends rather than isolated events. Ask, which practices consistently produce results, which approaches need refinement, which obstacles recur and require systematic solutions. Regular analysis maintains alignment with goals and encourages proactive problem solving. Visualization of progress reinforces commitment. Mapping achievements along a timeline or charting incremental improvements makes growth tangible. The mind responds to visible evidence of advancement. It motivates continued effort and highlights areas needing attention. Visualization also supports strategic planning, revealing which actions have the greatest impact and which require reallocation of resources. Tangible representation of progress transforms abstract effort into concrete, measurable outcomes. Consistency in tracking is essential. Sporadic measurement undermines the reliability of insights. Establish systems that are simple, repeatable, and integrated seamlessly into routines. A structured format, whether digital, analog, or hybrid, ensures that evaluation is effortless and habitual. Consistent tracking embeds discipline, reduces the likelihood of oversight, and generates an accumulating record of development. Over time, the repository of data becomes a personal blueprint for improvement and decision-making. Account for both qualitative and quantitative progress. Numbers alone cannot capture all dimensions of success. Emotional resilience, creativity, communication effectiveness, and personal satisfaction are vital indicators of growth. Incorporate subjective reflection into tracking to ensure holistic assessment. Document challenges overcome, lessons learned, and shifts in perspective. Recognizing intangible progress strengthens motivation and informs strategic adjustments, ensuring that success is multidimensional rather than one-dimensional. Prioritize leading indicators, not just outcomes. Metrics that predict results are often more valuable than retrospective measures. For instance, the number of meaningful interactions may forecast future networking success, while consistent training sessions predict athletic improvement. Leading indicators provide actionable insight and allow proactive adjustments, preventing minor misalignments from escalating into larger setbacks. Tracking predictive measures ensures that efforts are directed efficiently and impactful. Strategic adjustment requires courage. Persistence without reflection is not wisdom. It is stubbornness. Be willing to abandon methods that do not serve objectives, even if effort has been invested. Strategic flexibility is not indecision. It is calculated responsiveness to evidence. The discipline to modify tactics when necessary reflects maturity, foresight, and a commitment to results. Adjustments are investments in efficiency, effectiveness, and long-term sustainability of effort. Celebrate incremental wins to reinforce behavior. Recognize the completion of subtasks, the overcoming of obstacles, and the consistent application of disciplined effort. Small victories compound, strengthen confidence, and reinforcing habits that lead to larger successes. Structured acknowledgement of progress creates a positive feedback loop. Effort is rewarded, momentum increases, and resilience grows. Celebrations, while simple, validate the process and sustain engagement over long journeys. Learning from setbacks enhances the tracking process. Not every effort will yield the desired result. Analyze failures dispassionately. Identify causal factors, isolate variables, and design corrective measures. Recording these insights alongside successes creates a comprehensive map of action and consequence. Systematic review of setbacks strengthens problem-solving skills, enhances resilience, and informs future strategy. Failure becomes data, not discouragement, accelerating progress rather than halting it. Automate tracking where possible to maintain consistency. Tools, apps, or simple templates reduce friction and minimize human error. Automation frees mental capacity for analysis and creative problem-solving rather than administrative repetition. Effective systems integrate seamlessly into daily routines, ensuring that tracking is accurate, habitual, and sustainable over the long term. Automation reinforces the discipline of consistent measurement without becoming burdensome. Sharing milestones strengthens accountability. Communicate progress to mentors, colleagues, or peers. Public acknowledgement of achievements and challenges increases commitment, provides additional perspectives, and reinforces discipline. Sharing results transforms private tracking into a collaborative process where feedback loops accelerate learning and refine strategy. Social reinforcement ensures that milestones are recognized and adjustments are informed by broader insight. Reflection connects tracking with personal growth. Beyond numbers and outcomes, consider emotional response, satisfaction, and alignment with values. Evaluate how achievements contribute to long-term purpose and whether strategies align with character and integrity. Reflection bridges measurement with meaning, ensuring that progress is not merely mechanical, but purposeful and enriching. Insight gained through reflection informs future tracking, adjustments, and celebration. Tracking progress, adjusting strategies, and celebrating milestones is a continuous cycle. Measurement provides clarity, evaluation reveals gaps, adjustments optimize methods, and recognition reinforces persistence. This loop ensures that effort is directed intelligently, improvement is continuous, and motivation is sustained. Discipline in this process converts intention into tangible results, producing not only achievement, but mastery over one's actions and trajectory. Start immediately by selecting a meaningful goal. Define clear metrics, record actions, review results daily, adjust methods consciously, and celebrate even small accomplishments. Repeat this cycle consistently. Over weeks, patterns will emerge, strategies will refine, and milestones will accumulate into substantial and visible progress. By committing to this disciplined approach, effort is transformed into measurable growth, challenges become manageable, and long-term success becomes inevitable. Number 7. Embrace failure, learn lessons, try again. Failure is often misunderstood as a signal to stop, to retreat, or to question one's ability. In reality, failure is a critical part of the growth process, a necessary element in the pursuit of meaningful achievement. Each unsuccessful attempt provides insight, raw data, and feedback that cannot be gained through success alone. The individual who learns to embrace failure reframes setbacks, not as permanent limitations, but as guideposts for refinement. This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities, fear into motivation, and errors into stepping stones toward mastery. The first step in embracing failure is acknowledgement. Recognize that mistakes, missed targets, and unexpected outcomes are inevitable when pushing beyond comfort zones. Avoid denial or rationalization that obscures the truth of what occurred. Clear acknowledgement allows analysis to proceed without distortion. Understanding that failure is part of the natural learning curve reduces emotional resistance and prepares the mind to extract value from the experience. Once acknowledged, reflection is essential. Examine the circumstances surrounding the failure. What actions led to the outcome? Which decisions contributed? And what factors were beyond control? Honest assessment without self-condemnation enables identification of patterns that can inform future action. Reflection transforms passive regret into active insight. Document lessons learned for clarity and reference. This process ensures that failure produces knowledge rather than lingering frustration. Perspective is critical in processing failure. Short-term setbacks are rarely definitive judgments on ability or potential. Contextualize each failure within the broader journey of growth. Conceptualize each failure within the broader journey of growth. Consider the magnitude of the objective and the distance already traveled. Understanding that one event does not define a trajectory reduces the emotional weight of disappointment and reinforces resilience. Perspective allows for rational, strategic response rather than impulsive withdrawal. Extracting lessons requires analytical thinking. Identify not only what went wrong, but also what went right. Even in unsuccessful attempts, elements of planning, effort, or execution may have been effective. Recognizing partial successes enables reinforcement of useful behaviors while adjusting ineffective ones. Learning from failure is an active process. It demands attention to detail, curiosity about causality, and willingness to adapt method. Every setback contains hidden insights waiting to be uncovered. Trial and experimentation are inseparable from embracing failure. Each attempt is an experiment, producing data that guides refinement. A mindset of experimentation reduces fear and encourages calculated risk-taking. Avoid the paralysis that arises from seeking perfect outcomes before action. By treating every effort as a learning opportunity, setbacks are no longer threats, but information for strategic adjustment. The courage to continue despite prior failures distinguishes consistent achievers from those who stagnate. Resilience is strengthened through repeated engagement with failure. Emotional fortitude develops when setbacks are met with deliberate response rather than avoidance. Each encounter reinforces the capacity to tolerate discomfort, manage stress, and maintain focus under pressure. Failure, approached as feedback rather than judgment, becomes a tool for developing mental toughness. The disciplined mind learns that setbacks are temporary and correctable, instilling persistence and determination. Adapting strategies based on lessons learned is essential. Blind repetition of failed methods without adjustment produces only repeated failure. After reflection, identify specific changes to approach, execution, or mindset. Adjust one element at a time to isolate effects and measure impact. Structured adaptation ensures that effort produces improvement, transforming each cycle of action into cumulative progress. The willingness to revise strategies demonstrates both humility and strategic intelligence. Mindset plays a pivotal role in response to failure. Embrace curiosity rather than defensiveness. Ask, what does this experience reveal about limitations, opportunities, or overlooked factors? Approach each setback as an experiment in self-discovery. This perspective reframes obstacles as sources of intelligence rather than indicators of inadequacy. Intellectual engagement with failure cultivates insight, innovation, and self-awareness, all of which amplify future effectiveness. Consistency in reattempting goals is critical. Learning from failure is futile without subsequent action. Apply revised strategies in subsequent attempts, observing results, and making further adjustments as needed. Persistence demonstrates commitment to objectives and validates lessons learned. Each iteration refines skill, strategy, and judgment. The act of trying again solidifies resilience, reinforces discipline, and reinforces confidence in one's ability to adapt. Avoid internalizing failure as identity. Mistakes and setbacks reflect actions, decisions, or circumstances, not intrinsic worth. Separating self-esteem from outcomes prevents discouragement and maintains motivation. Individuals who retain confidence and curiosity after failure are able to engage fully with challenges, sustaining growth and performance. Self-concept grounded in effort, learning, and adaptability rather than outcome alone fosters long-term success. Leverage feedback from external sources to enhance learning. Observations from mentors, peers, or experienced individuals provide alternative perspectives and insights that may not be evident internally. Constructive feedback complements self-assessment, revealing blind spots and suggesting actionable adjustments. Incorporating diverse viewpoints accelerates learning and ensures that strategies evolve based on accurate understanding rather than incomplete perception. Incremental progress should be recognized. Even if the ultimate objective is not yet achieved, small improvements represent meaningful growth. Celebrate adaptation, increased competence, and enhanced understanding as milestones. Recognition of incremental advancement reinforces motivations, strengthens commitment, and validates the learning process. Failure is less discouraging when accompanied by acknowledgement of progress in specific areas. Emotional regulation is essential when confronting failure. Strong reactions can cloud judgment, impair reflection, and reduce the effectiveness of subsequent attempts. Techniques such as deep breathing, brief physical activity, or structured journaling help stabilize emotions and create space for rational analysis. Maintaining composure ensures that decisions about adjustment and retrying are deliberate, not impulsive. Emotional control transforms setbacks into deliberate learning opportunities. A long-term perspective enhances resilience. Each failure is part of a larger journey towards skill, mastery, and achievement. Contextualize short-term setbacks within the trajectory of overall growth. Recognize that success rarely emerges without repeated experimentation and adaptation. Understanding that cumulative effort produces results strengthens determination and reduces the discouragement associated with isolated setbacks. Build systems to capture lessons systematically. Maintain a journal or digital record of failures, analysis, and adjustments. Documenting insights ensures that knowledge is retained and accessible for future challenge. Over time, the accumulated record becomes a personalized guide, accelerating learning and reducing repetition of ineffective approaches. Systematic documentation transforms ephemeral experience into structured intelligence. Challenge the notion of perfection. Striving for flawless execution before action is a barrier to progress. Accept that mistakes are inherent to growth. Taking imperfect action produces feedback, informs strategy, and develops competence. Waiting for ideal conditions or perfect planning leads to stagnation. Embracing imperfection encourages experimentation and accelerates development. The process itself becomes a teacher, and repeated attempts generate skill and understanding. Resilient individuals view failure as temporary and controllable. Focus remains on what can be influenced rather than dwelling on uncontrollable circumstances. Shifting attention toward actionable responses and informed adaptation cultivates empowerment and reduces discouragement. Ownership of responses reinforces agency, ensuring that setbacks contribute to mastery rather than producing helplessness. Try again with deliberate intention. Each subsequent effort should integrate lessons learned, adapted strategies, and renewed focus. Treat each attempt as an opportunity to refine execution, test hypotheses, and expand competence. Persistence, guided by insight and analysis, compounds over time, producing outcomes that exceed what could be achieved without engagement with failure. Repetition with refinement transforms mistakes into mastery. Mentorship and collaboration accelerate learning from failure. Engage with individuals who have faced similar challenges. Learn from their experiences, strategies, and insights. Observing how others navigate setbacks provides models for adaptation and expands perspective. Collective intelligence complements personal analysis, increasing the likelihood of effective adjustment and successful retry. Failure, when embraced, becomes a catalyst for growth. It sharpens problem-solving skills, strengthens resilience, and clarifies priorities. Lessons extracted from setbacks inform future action, enhancing both competence and confidence. Repeated engagement with challenges, guided by reflection and strategy, transforms obstacles into stepping stones. This cycle of attempt, analysis, adjustment, and retry defines the trajectory of individuals who achieve lasting success. Starting immediately involves acting without fear of error. Identify a challenge, execute an effort, observe the outcome, analyze lessons, and plan the next attempt. Document insights and apply adjustments consistently. Approach each attempt with focus, curiosity, and commitment. Over time, repeated engagement converts uncertainty into competence, setbacks into learning, and persistence into tangible achievement. Embrace failure as a companion rather than an enemy. Extract lessons actively, adapt strategies intelligently, and approach each new attempt with determination. This cycle produces mastery, resilience, and sustained progress. The individual who acts, fails, learns, and tries again cultivates a trajectory of growth that cannot be derailed by temporary setbacks, ensuring that every challenge contributes to long-term success. Number 8. Visualize success. Act boldly. Persist relentlessly. Achievement begins in the mind. Before any action is taken, the mind must conceive of the goal with clarity and detail. Visualization is more than imagining a vague outcome. It is a precise mental rehearsal of what success looks, feels, and sounds like. Picture yourself navigating obstacles, completing tasks, and achieving the desired result. Include sensory details, the sight of the environment, the emotions coursing through you, the tangible rewards of accomplishment. The brain does not fully distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. This process trains focus, primes confidence, and prepares the mind for decisive action. Mental rehearsal strengthens belief. When success is visualized repeatedly, it becomes familiar, less intimidating, and more attainable. The mind shifts from doubt to expectation, and anxiety diminishes. Visualization also highlights potential obstacles and triggers creative problem solving, allowing strategies to emerge before challenges appear. By mentally navigating the path to achievement, preparation becomes intuitive, and the fear of unknown circumstances diminishes. The mind, trained through imagery, becomes a powerful ally in execution. Bold action is the natural complement to visualization. Imagining success is insufficient without decisive, courageous steps in reality. Boldness involves calculated risk-taking, decisive decision-making, and a willingness to step beyond comfort zones. Every goal worth pursuing demands action that carries uncertainty. Hesitation delays results, dilutes energy, and allows opportunity to pass. Acting boldly is not reckless. It is intentional, informed, and decisive. Courage in action bridges the gap between vision and reality, converting thought into tangible progress. Preparation amplifies boldness. Gather knowledge, resources, and skills necessary for execution. Bold action without preparation is haphazard, while preparation without action is stagnant. When preparation and imagination align, action becomes confident and purposeful. Boldness rooted in insight mitigates risk, sharpens focus, and accelerates results. Even when outcomes are uncertain, preparation reduces fear, enabling action that is deliberate rather than reactive. Persistence is the engine that sustains effort over time. Even bold, informed action meets resistance, setbacks, and delays. The ability to maintain momentum despite obstacles defines the difference between temporary effort and lasting achievement. Persistence is not blind repetition. It is consistent, disciplined action guided by reflection and adaptation. Continue forward with unwavering commitment to goals, refining strategies when necessary, and resisting the temptation to abandon effort in the face of difficulty. Visualizing obstacles is as important as visualizing success. Anticipate challenges, resource gaps, and unexpected complications. Prepare strategies mentally for overcoming these barriers. By doing so, the mind is not paralyzed when difficulty arises. Solutions feel familiar and approachable. Visualization of both success and potential resistance equips you to respond with confidence, maintaining forward momentum when circumstances test resolve. Integration of sensory experience strengthens the impact of visualization. Imagine the sounds, textures, smells, and physical sensations associated with accomplishing goals. Emotional intensity adds realism to mental rehearsal, solidifying belief in success. The brain, rehearsing in vivid detail, primes the body for action, reinforcing confidence, composure, and readiness. The more complete and vivid the mental representation, the more effectively it guides actual behavior. Bold action requires overcoming internal resistance. Fear, doubt, and inertia are natural responses to uncertainty. Identify these internal barriers clearly, confront them logically, and commit to movement despite discomfort. Action taken in the presence of fear strengthens courage, confidence, and resilience. Each instance of confronting hesitation compounds over time, producing a mindset capable of sustained, deliberate, and decisive execution. Persistence demands both discipline and flexibility. Discipline ensures that effort is consistent, routines are maintained, and objectives remain in focus. Flexibility allows for adaptation when external circumstances shift or when strategies prove ineffective. Persistence is strengthened by a dual commitment, unwavering dedication to the goal, paired with intelligent adjustment of methods. This balance prevents stagnation, optimizes performance, and maximizes progress toward long-term objectives. Small, repeated actions compound. Boldness applied consistently creates momentum. Each step, no matter how minor, accumulates toward significant results. Consistency reinforces confidence, validates strategies, and strengthens habits of decisive action. The combination of persistent effort and bold execution ensures that progress is measurable, sustainable, and resilient against setbacks. Success becomes a product of disciplined application rather than random opportunity. Visualization, bold action, and persistence are mutually reinforcing. Clear mental imagery motivates decisive behavior. Action generates data and experience to refine visualization. Persistence maintains momentum when challenges arise. Together, these habits create a feedback loop where thought, effort, and resilience feed one another. The individual practicing this cycle moves through obstacles with efficiency, turning challenges into opportunities and intentions into results. Accountability enhances persistence. Share goals and progress with trusted mentors, peers, or partners. Public or semi-public acknowledgement of objectives creates additional motivation and external reinforcement. Feedback, guidance, and encouragement increase the likelihood of continued effort and intelligent adjustment. Accountability provides structure and external confirmation of alignment between visualization, action, and outcome. Reflection complements persistence. Regular evaluation of results against objectives ensures that action remains aligned with the vision of success. Analyze what worked, what failed, and why. Identify strategies that require reinforcement and those that require modification. Reflection ensures that persistence is not blind endurance, but disciplined, informed continuation of purposeful effort. Each evaluation sharpens strategy, energizes future action, and strengthens the link between vision and reality. Energy management supports sustained boldness. Bold action requires both mental and physical vitality. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, hydration, and movement to ensure optimal performance. Fatigue undermines decision-making, weakens courage, and reduces perseverance. By maintaining high energy levels, bold steps can be executed effectively, focus can be sustained, and persistence becomes achievable without burnout. Emotional regulation strengthens the cycle of visualization, action, and persistence. Setbacks and uncertainty naturally provoke frustration, disappointment, or self-doubt. Develop strategies to observe these emotions without being controlled by them. Deep breathing, mindful pauses, or brief physical activity can stabilize response, maintaining clarity of thought and decisiveness of action. Emotionally balanced responses preserve momentum and ensure continued engagement with goals. Bold action benefits from incremental risk-taking. Avoid waiting for perfect conditions or complete certainty. Assess potential outcomes, prepare contingencies, and proceed with calculated confidence. Incremental risk allows testing of strategies, learning from experience, and building competence gradually. Confidence grows as each successful step reinforces the capacity for more ambitious efforts. The habit of measured boldness strengthens courage over time, producing increasingly significant results. Persistence is reinforced by a strong sense of purpose. Clarify why each goal matters, connect daily effort to larger objectives, and anchor determination in long-term vision. Purpose provides intrinsic motivation, sustaining action when external rewards or recognition are delayed. Understanding the significance of effort fuels resilience, enabling repeated action even under challenging conditions. Purpose converts obstacles into meaningful tests of commitment rather than deterrence. The combination of visualization, bold action, and relentless persistence produces mastery over circumstance. Challenges become manageable, opportunities recognizable, and decisions decisive. Mental rehearsal primes the mind, bold action executes intention, and persistence ensures cumulative impact. Together, these habits cultivate capability, confidence, and continuous progress. Achievement emerges not by chance, but through deliberate practice of these interdependent principles. Implementing these habits begins with clarity of goal, mental rehearsal of success, and immediate initiation of action. Take the first step boldly, reflect on results, adjust as necessary, and continue forward without surrendering to temporary obstacles. Reinforce the process with consistent attention to energy, emotional stability, and incremental learning. Over time, visualization strengthens, actions become decisive, and persistence becomes second nature. The individual who internalizes these principles develops an unshakable trajectory. Mind, body, and will are aligned toward the goal. Fear is managed, hesitation is minimized, and every setback is an opportunity to refine strategy. Bold steps accumulate, persistence compounds, and vision crystallizes into tangible accomplishment. Success is realized not as a single event, but as the inevitable outcome of repeated, disciplined, and intelligent engagement with both challenges and opportunities. Number 9. Manage time wisely. Delegate. Automate tasks. Time is the most finite resource any individual possesses. Unlike money or possessions, it cannot be regained once spent. Every hour carries potential for progress, growth, and accomplishment. But without deliberate management, it can slip away unnoticed. Wise management of time requires intentional planning, clear prioritization, and disciplined execution. It is not enough to fill hours with activity. The focus must be on ensuring that every task, decision, and commitment aligns with meaningful goals. Efficiency without direction is wasted energy, and effort without strategy produces little lasting impact. Begin by identifying the most critical tasks that contribute directly to objectives. Distinguish between urgency and importance. Many activities appear urgent, but have minimal impact on long-term goals. Prioritization ensures that energy is invested in what truly matters, preventing distraction by trivial tasks. Evaluate tasks daily and weekly, ranking them according to their contribution to results. Conscious awareness of priorities transforms scattered effort into deliberate, productive action. Scheduling is essential for effective time management. Allocate specific blocks of time to high-priority activities, ensuring that critical work receives uninterrupted focus. Limit multitasking, as it reduces efficiency and increases errors. Structured time creates predictability, reduces decision fatigue, and maximizes productivity. Use tools such as calendars, task lists, or digital planners to create visibility and accountability. Visibility of commitments reduces mental clutter, allowing attention to concentrate fully on the task at hand. Delegation amplifies efficiency and frees capacity for higher value work. Identify tasks that others can execute competently and entrust them with responsibility. Clear instructions, defined expectations, and accountability structures are critical for successful delegation. Avoid micromanaging. Empower others to complete tasks independently while providing guidance as necessary. Delegation not only expands capacity, but also develops skills and responsibility in others, strengthening teams and networks while increasing personal bandwidth. Automation further optimizes time utilization. Repetitive, low-value tasks can often be systematized using technology, processes, or templates. Examples include scheduling emails, setting up recurring reminders, automating reports, or employing workflow software. Automation reduces the cognitive load of routine actions, eliminates human error, and ensures consistency, freeing mental and physical energy from repetitive tasks, allows focus on creative, strategic, or high-impact activities that require human judgment and expertise. Track how time is spent to identify inefficiencies. Document daily routines and evaluate which activities consume disproportionate resources relative to their impact. Recognize patterns of procrastination, distraction, or overcommitment. Awareness of these tendencies is a prerequisite for change. By measuring how attention is allocated, adjustments can be made to increase efficiency and redirect energy toward meaningful results. Data-driven understanding of time usage is a powerful tool for deliberate improvement. Set boundaries to protect focus. External demands, interruptions, and non-essential commitments consume time silently. Establish limits on availability, designate periods of focused work, and communicate expectations clearly to others. Boundaries reinforce the value of concentrated effort, reduce reactive behavior, and preserve energy for high-priority objectives. Controlled environments, free from unnecessary distractions, allow consistent productive engagement with critical tasks. Batching similar tasks increases efficiency. Group activities by type or context to minimize transition costs. For example, respond to all emails during designated intervals rather than sporadically throughout the day. Process similar tasks consecutively to maximize mental and physical efficiency. Batching reduces time lost to context switching and preserves focus, ensuring that effort is concentrated and productive. Establish routines that create momentum. Consistent daily and weekly practices automate decision-making and conserve energy. Morning routines, Workday structures and end-of-day reviews provide rhythm and predictability, reducing friction in execution. Routines integrate priority work into natural patterns of activity, ensuring that essential tasks receive consistent attention without reliance on willpower alone. Leverage delegation strategically. Determine which tasks consume substantial time but do not require personal expertise. Outsource or assign these responsibilities to capable individuals, allowing focus on tasks that utilize unique skills, judgment, or influence. Delegation requires trust, clarity, and follow-through, but exponentially increases effective use of time. By focusing personal effort on irreplaceable contributions, overall productivity and impact are maximized. Automate decision-making where possible. Repetitive choices, such as scheduling, budgeting, or simple operational decisions can be systematized through preset rules, templates, or software. This reduces cognitive load, preserves mental energy for strategic thinking, and maintains consistency in execution. Automation transforms routine tasks from energy drains into seamless processes that operate efficiently without constant oversight. Periodic review of time management practices ensures continued improvement. Assess the effectiveness of delegation, automation, and scheduling. Identify bottlenecks, inefficiencies, or tasks that could be better allocated. Adjust strategies to reflect evolving priorities, changing circumstances, and increasing capacity. Continuous evaluation ensures that time management remains dynamic, adaptive, and aligned with objectives rather than static or complacent. Prioritize deep work over shallow activity. Focus on tasks that produce the greatest value rather than low-impact busyness. Deep work requires sustained attention, concentration, and minimal interruption. Protect time for high-value activities and minimize distractions during these periods. The accumulation of focused, meaningful work yields results far beyond that of scattered reactive effort. Leverage technology judiciously. Productivity tools, communication platforms, and task management software can enhance efficiency when used intentionally. Avoid over-reliance or distraction from constant notification. Choose systems that complement priorities, automate repetitive actions, and centralize essential information. Technology, when applied strategically, magnifies capacity rather than fragmenting attention. Recognize and respect limits. Time, energy, and focus are finite. Avoid overcommitting or attempting to execute all tasks personally. Delegation and automation are not signs of weakness. They are strategic utilization of resources. By operating within limits intelligently, output quality and consistency are maintained while avoiding burnout or inefficiency. Time management is enhanced by planning with foresight. Anticipate deadlines, dependencies, and potential obstacles. Schedule buffers for unexpected challenges. Review progress regularly and adjust plans proactively. Proactive planning reduces stress, increases reliability, and ensures that critical tasks are completed without last-minute urgency. Anticipation converts time from a reactive resource into a strategic advantage. Reflection amplifies effectiveness. At the end of each day or week, review what was accomplished, identify tasks that could have been handled more efficiently, and note opportunities for improved delegation or automation. Continuous reflection ensures that learning is embedded in routine, increasing effectiveness over time. Adjust future plans based on insights from review to optimize both effort and outcome. Time management, delegation, and automation combine to create a framework for exponential productivity. Time is invested deliberately, essential tasks receive appropriate attention, and repetitive or low-value activities are streamlined or offloaded. This structure allows focus on high-impact actions, enhances performance, and sustains energy for strategic growth. By aligning resources with priorities, meaningful results are achieved with clarity, efficiency, and consistency. Start immediately by mapping current tasks, identifying low-value activities, and allocating them for delegation or automation. Block time for high-priority projects, enforce boundaries, and review progress daily. Refine approaches continuously, reinforcing the practice of intelligent allocation of effort. Over time, disciplined management of time combined with strategic delegation and automation, produces sustained efficiency, measurable progress, and the freedom to focus on what truly drives success. Number 10. Maintain gratitude, positive mindset, self-discipline, always. Gratitude is a foundation for clarity, resilience, and fulfillment. It is the conscious recognition of what is present, valuable, and meaningful in life, even amidst challenges. Maintaining gratitude does not require ignoring difficulties or pretending that obstacles do not exist. It demands acknowledgement of what is working, what has been achieved, and the resources and opportunities available. Gratitude shifts attention from scarcity to abundance, cultivating a mindset that notices possibilities instead of fixating on limitations. By consistently appreciating what is present, the mind becomes more receptive to growth, learning, and constructive action. Daily practice of gratitude strengthens emotional balance. Taking time to recognize achievements, supportive relationships, and moments of joy reduces stress, mitigates negativity, and reinforces motivation. Simple exercises, such as listing 3 things that went well each day or acknowledging the effort of others, produce measurable shifts in perception. Gratitude focuses the mind on value and progress, reinforcing optimism while providing a stabilizing influence when circumstances are difficult. The practice builds a mental foundation that supports consistent effort, adaptability, and long-term pursuit of goals. A positive mindset complements gratitude. It is the deliberate choice to interpret experiences constructively, to view setbacks as opportunities, and to expect potential in effort and action. Positivity does not equate to naivety or avoidance of reality. Instead, it cultivates resilience, enabling one to confront challenges without succumbing to discouragement. By focusing on solutions rather than problems, a positive mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth and learning. Optimism energizes thought, informs decision-making, and sustains motivation during prolonged effort. Self-discipline is the engine that ensures gratitude and positivity translate into tangible outcomes. Gratitude and mindset shape perception and energy, but disciplined action produces results. Self-discipline manifests as consistent adherence to routines, control over impulses, and the ability to maintain focus even when motivation fluctuates. It involves making deliberate choices, aligned with long-term objectives rather than immediate gratification. Through self-discipline, values, intentions, and priorities are converted into behavior, creating measurable progress over time. Integration of these principles creates a reinforcing cycle. Gratitude enhances perspective, allowing challenges to be approached calmly and constructively. A positive mindset converts this perspective into purposeful energy, fueling persistence and creative problem-solving. Self-discipline channels energy into deliberate action, ensuring that intentions are realized through effort. Each component amplifies the others. Gratitude supports optimism, optimism reinforces persistence, and discipline guarantees execution. Together, they form a holistic framework for sustainable success and personal mastery. Gratitude requires attentiveness. It involves noticing the often overlooked aspects of life: a supportive mentor, reliable resources, personal health, or small daily victories. Awareness deepens appreciation, allowing the mind to recognize progress and value beyond immediate outcomes. The practice of noticing cultivates mindfulness, reduces emotional reactivity, and strengthens resilience. By consistently observing what is positive and constructive, gratitude becomes habitual rather than occasional, creating a stable foundation for thought and action. A positive mindset is strengthened by intentional focus. Thoughts are chosen with awareness, filtered for constructive potential, and directed toward possibilities rather than limitations. Cognitive habits, such as reframing problems, seeking lessons in failure, and focusing on actionable steps, reinforce positivity. Over time, this deliberate mental training produces adaptive, solution-oriented thinking that supports long-term achievement. The mind becomes a tool for creation rather than a source of self-imposed obstacles. Self-discipline is built incrementally. It begins with small, manageable commitments, repeated consistently until they become habitual. Daily routines, structured planning, and accountability systems reinforce the habit of deliberate action. Self-discipline is strengthened when effort is applied even in the absence of immediate reward or external pressure. It is a skill cultivated through repetition, reflection, and alignment of behavior with values and long-term objectives. Mastery of self-discipline ensures that effort is maintained consistently, even when motivation wanes. Resilience is enhanced through the combination of gratitude, positivity, and discipline. Challenges are inevitable, but these practices prevent discouragement, impulsivity, and stagnation. Gratitude maintains perspective. Positivity fuels determination, and discipline sustains effort. Together, they create a mindset capable of enduring difficulty while continuing to pursue meaningful goals. The individual who integrates these habits approaches obstacles strategically, learning from setbacks rather than being derailed by them. Visualization strengthens the practice of these habits. Mentally rehearsing successful outcomes, acknowledging effort, and anticipating challenges reinforces both motivation and strategy. Visualization creates clarity regarding the path forward and solidifies the mental association between consistent effort and achievement. Coupled with gratitude, visualization anchors appreciation for the journey as well as the result. It aligns mental energy with tangible objectives, increasing focus and efficiency of action. Accountability enhances self-discipline. By sharing objectives, routines, or progress with trusted mentors, peers, or partners, effort is reinforced through social expectation and feedback. External observation strengthens commitment, while guidance ensures alignment with meaningful outcomes. Accountability accelerates development, maintains momentum, and provides external reinforcement for internal habits. Through regular reporting and evaluation, self-discipline is reinforced and refined. Gratitude fosters relational strength. Recognizing the contributions of others, expressing appreciation, and acknowledging support strengthens networks, collaboration, and mutual respect. Relationships that are nurtured through gratitude produce both emotional and practical support, enhancing resilience, resources, and opportunities. Positive interpersonal interactions amplify the effects of disciplined effort, creating a network that reinforces growth and achievement. A positive mindset is reinforced by continuous learning. Actively seeking knowledge, understanding challenges, and refining strategies sustains optimism by increasing competence and reducing uncertainty. Knowledge equips the mind to respond proactively rather than reactively, ensuring that challenges are addressed with solutions instead of frustration. This continuous improvement maintains confidence, sustains energy, and strengthens determination. Self-discipline is closely linked to environmental design, structuring surroundings to minimize distractions, optimize focus, and reinforce routines reduces reliance on willpower alone. Intentional organization of time, space, and resources allows sustained effort, reduces friction in task execution, and reinforces habits. Thoughtful design of daily environments strengthens the capacity to maintain consistency, focus, and deliberate action. Integration of these three principles requires conscious attention to balance. Excessive focus on discipline without gratitude may lead to rigidity or burnout. Positivity without action produces idle optimism, and gratitude without structure may foster complacency. When practiced together, gratitude nurtures perspective, positivity fuels motivation, and discipline transforms intention into achievement. Alignment of all three produces sustainable growth, resilience, and continuous improvement. Reflection reinforces all habits. Daily or weekly review of accomplishments, lessons learned, and areas for improvement consolidates insight and strengthens alignment of action with values. Reflection highlights both progress and gaps, supporting strategic adjustments while maintaining appreciation for effort and achievement. Continuous evaluation ensures that habits remain purposeful, effective, and evolving in alignment with long-term objectives. Energy management supports consistent practice. Adequate sleep, nutrition, movement, and mental rest sustain focus, emotional stability, and resilience. Discipline is reinforced when physical and mental energy are optimized, preventing fatigue from undermining consistency or positivity. Energy-conscious living strengthens the capacity to maintain effort, respond constructively to challenges, and engage fully in both work and personal growth. Gratitude, positivity, and self-discipline collectively shape identity. They influence perception of self, interactions with others, and response to challenges. Consistent application cultivates confidence, emotional stability, and a proactive approach to life. Over time, these habits become intrinsic, influencing automatic responses, decision-making, and strategic thinking. Identity becomes aligned with purposeful effort, constructive mindset, and appreciation for both journey and results. Immediate implementation begins with structured reflection. Each day, note areas of appreciation, choose constructive interpretations of events, and identify specific actions that align with objectives. Maintain routines, set boundaries, and reinforce behaviors through repetition. Progress is compounded through consistent attention, deliberate action, and mental alignment with both gratitude and positive outlook. The individual who sustains these habits experiences long-term growth, emotional resilience, and consistent achievement. Gratitude nurtures perspective and appreciation, positivity empowers constructive action, and discipline ensures execution. Together, they create a self-reinforcing system where challenges are manageable, effort is consistent, and goals are realized. This trio of practices is not a temporary strategy. It is a lifelong framework for personal mastery, fulfillment, and enduring success.